Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Cycle Lab Coffee Time show. As always, we are live from the Performance Lab in Cycle Lab in Fourways. And if you look at all these products on the table here, you can see we're in for an exciting show this morning. Today we are talking to Rian from the Peloton. Rian, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, Miles. Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
it's great
amazing.
to be here. Thank you.
You guys do a whole range of products, so we're going to be speaking about quite a lot of topics today. But to get started, guys, it is a live show, so just remember you can get your comments in the comment section. There's some amazing prizes. There's 5 prizes up for grabs this week. So thank you for generously donating those prizes to us.
And you.
To our viewers, how the prizes are going to work this week. We are going to do it in quite a similar format to last week. We are going to ask you to take a photo of your bicycle on a ride, and you need to tag 3 accounts. You need to tag, obviously, the Peloton. You need to tag Cycle Lab ZA, and you also have to tag Team Pro Touch because you guys are one of their sponsors.
Yes, very proud sponsor.
Team Pro Touch is a local South African team, a continental team, and they're the best ranked team in Africa at the moment.
Exactly, the #1 pro continental team in Africa, correct.
Brilliant, yes. So this is what their kit looks like. Yeah. It's still in the bag, and it is one of our prizes. So guys, you need to take a photo of your bike on a ride this weekend and tag those 3 accounts, the Peloton, Cycle Lab ZA, and Team Pro Touch. So the prize up for grabs, obviously the shirt. We're going to put them just behind me just to clear up the table a little bit. The second prize is a road bike saddle with the matching bar tape. We're going to go into saddles and how they fit and all that very soon. Rian's going to take us through that. So there's a saddle with the handlebar tape. That's another prize. Let's put that behind me. Yes, Rian, this is quite exciting. There's a mountain bike saddle. The Sella San Marco mountain bike saddle, which we will be giving away as well. That's that, and then also a helmet. We were joking just now, calling this a Suami. How do you pronounce it?
Suami.
Suami helmet.
Yeah.
So that's another prize, and then the very last one, prize number 5, is a hamper with 2 socks, a hat, and 2 pairs of socks, a hat, and a bottle, and some data tape as well. Thanks, Rian. This is amazing. I mean, this is pretty awesome. So thank you for all those prizes, 5 prizes. Take a picture of your bike, tag those 3 accounts, guys. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Rian, you brought this beautiful Cipollini bicycle to come show the viewers. Let's take us through this beautiful machine. It's the new latest, greatest
release now from Cipollini. It's actually it's a very new thing for Cipollini, the Aluminium. You know, Cipollini is well known for a more chunky sort of aero frame. So this frame has been designed from the ground up, and the name Aluminium says it all. It's a climber's frame, so it was actually designed to ride the Dolomites in Italy.
Which means very lightweight.
Very lightweight, of course. Yeah, for sure.
Weight of the frame?
780 grams for the frame. Plus
wow, 780 grams. That's nothing. That's probably the lightest frame I've ever heard of.
I think so, yeah. I think it's definitely one of the lightest out there. Plus a 370 gram fork. So our bolt here at the back is built with a DRI's 9170 Di2 group set.
Okay.
The SL30 lightweight carbon wheel set from Deda. And then our Vinci full integrated handlebar and stem combo. So this bike, as it stands here, is only 6.9 kilos, which I think is remarkable for a disc brake electronic bike.
That's super. I mean, number one, it's a disc brake bike. It's an electronic group set, and the legal limit in terms of how light your bike can actually be is only 6.8. So with all those features, it's on the legal limit. You don't want a bike lighter than that, because then obviously when you go to a race and they weigh your bike, you could potentially get disqualified. So it's pretty much the perfect weight.
Exactly. Yeah. So just a bit of background on Cipollini. It's produced by the company called Diamante. Diamante is well known for supplying carbon elements to Maserati, McLaren, Ducati, and Mercedes-Benz.
Wow.
So that's their core business. And when they wanted to start a bike brand, they actually approached the very well-known sprinter from the 90s, Mario Cipollini. So that's where the name comes from, obviously. So Mario is also still very actively involved in the development and testing of the Cipollini frames.
I actually follow him on social media, and he's always
He's
looking
quite a character.
lean and
Yeah.
mean, and he's quite a character. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great to have someone
Yeah.
like that involved with the brand.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure, definitely.
In
Yeah.
terms of these bikes, I mean, Cyclab obviously stock them.
Correct.
But there's also, you mentioned a customization process which you can go through.
For sure. We normally build the bikes just so customers can see what it looks like complete. But Cipollini is much more like a frame set, so you can actually customize your own color as well on the My Cipollini website. This over here is a standard catalog color. It's available in white with a little bit of blue, and then we've got a navy blue color as well with a little bit of gray. So, but we try and focus normally on custom builds. So you pick your own handlebar and stem, your own group set, your own wheels, and you build whatever you want. Because I mean, a Cipollini is a unique bike, so you want to keep it unique and customized in your own way, of course.
Beautiful looking machine. So let's head over to what they can customize their bike with.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, data is one of your main products as well.
Correct.
Where is that from? Where is it based? Is it?
Okay, so Data is a handlebar stem component brand from Italy. It's been there for around 30 years. It's actually, I would say it's the #1 component brand in the world, because now with the recent Tour de France, we actually had 10 stage victories, and our Tour de France champion Tadej Pogacar used this, the Alanera full integrated solution.
So that handlebar won the Tour de France this year?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
Sure.
the same one that he used. So this is a full integrated solution, and normally the integrated bars are quite heavy. So this one only weighs in at 350 grams, which I think is quite remarkable.
For a stem and handlebar, that is extremely light. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think this is probably the lightest integrated bar that you get on the market at the moment. Then if we just move to the Dolomia, you'll notice that there's actually no cables or wiring visible.
So that's the handlebar on this bike?
Yes,
So
correct.
it's
The
actually
Vinci.
wow.
Yeah, correct. So the Vinci looks like this. This is the handlebar itself. It's got a very flat surface, so it's a nice and aero bar. And then it's joined with the Vinci stem. So the Vinci stem is also quite an aero stem. And they were actually very clever in the design with the Vinci, because they added a computer bracket which basically attaches underneath the stem, where you can attach your Garmin, and then you can also do like a bike light, or you can do a GoPro camera, for example.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. And the other problem normally with an integrated solution is that you battle to service the cables. So they actually thought of a very clever spacer system, which can open up at the front.
Oh, wow.
And then just makes the servicing a lot easier on the cables.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sure. So if your focus is road cycling, lightweight, aero, then this is definitely the solution for you. One very basic question I get a lot from people is, what is the difference between carbon and aluminium in terms of a handlebar? Because I mean, obviously a carbon handlebar is so much more expensive, but there's actually handlebars on the market that are aluminium, which are slightly lighter than carbon.
Yeah.
What is the main reason for upgrading to a carbon handlebar?
Look, a carbon bar definitely is lighter. You also add a lot more stiffness on a carbon handlebar, so it means there's less flex, better responsiveness on your bike. And if you look at the shape of the carbon, you can normally get a much flatter shape, which I can't actually do with alloy. So
I see.
yeah, so you can actually get a lot more comfortable on a carbon bar as well.
And carbon as a material, what I've heard as well is it absorbs vibrations from the road, so it actually can be slightly more comfortable.
Definitely.
When compared to an aluminium bar. So it is definitely worth the upgrade and investing in a little bit more money to upgrade your bike.
Obviously, it's not always ideal for a team using carbon handlebars unless you've got a very big budget, because they normally break in crashes.
Yeah.
So that's why we sponsor Pro Touch, who is the #1 Pro Continental team in Africa. They use the Super Zero combos in aluminium, and then of course the Deda carbon wheels. We're also giving away a Pro Touch jersey today, so yeah, be sure to look out for that.
It's a good looking jersey, and it's made by Pro Apparel, which is a very top quality brand. So it fits nicely, and that will be one of our prizes.
Yeah, sure.
Let's move on to what's next, the helmet or the saddles. What?
I think let's talk about the saddles.
Okay.
Yeah. So San Marco is actually one of the oldest brands in the world.
When it comes to saddles?
When it comes to saddles or cycling, it's 85 years old this year.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's been started by the Gerardi family. Recently it's been bought over by Sala Italia. So just if we look at the different saddles quickly.
Well, let's put it out there first. I mean, saddle selection over the years has become so important because it's one of the I mean, if you think about it, 3 main contact points on your bike. So if you're sitting down, there's pressure on your bum. I mean, on your hands, your handlebars, and then obviously your feet and your shoes.
Yes.
So saddle selection, if you're looking for comfort and to not get any saddle discomfort, I mean, there's a whole range of saddles that saddle manufacturers now make to suit the rider.
Yes,
so,
for sure.
I mean, that is a very important part of buying a bike.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Look, so I've got the Aspite model here today, which has been around for a very long time in San Marco. It's always been focused on mountain biking and road biking. But I think the saddle that's really put us on the map now recently is the short fit. So these days everybody's looking for a shorter saddle. So the technology behind this is because it's a waved saddle, it's sort of like a more one-position saddle. And because of the shorter nose, it means there's less stress on the pubic area.
Okay.
So, and the nice thing about your short fits as well, it's one of those saddles you can actually just get on and be comfortable with, where there's normally a break-in period for a saddle like an Aspite, for example.
Sure.
Yes.
Could you take us through kind of a saddle fitting process? Why someone would go for maybe a cutaway or a non-cutaway?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, the different widths and so on.
Okay.
I think that would be quite beneficial to know.
So for the fitting, we use the smart caliper tool.
That looks very interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a very funny looking tool. So with the tool, you first measure the width of the hips for the customer. It's got a small program that takes the consultant through every step. So you basically enter whether it's male or female. Then you measure the hip width. The next measurement you take is the right thigh diameter. After that, the left thigh diameter. And then this tool makes a calculation to take the difference between the two and then basically determine whether you ride a narrow or a wide saddle.
So there's 2 options, is it? Narrow and wide.
Or a wide option,
okay.
Correct. Yeah. So let me just show you what the difference is.
Is there a distance measurement? Is it 135, 145?
Yeah, so your Aspites is more like a 134 and a 144 in a narrow. This is a narrow saddle, whereas your short fit is more like a 145. So you can clearly see the difference between the two.
Oh, you can, yeah. It's a lot wider.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So of course we're not all built the same. So of course we have to ride different saddles.
100%.
Yeah.
Awesome. So and then in terms of kind of the tail flex to the back, I mean, you do sometimes get kind of very aggressive flexes towards the back of the saddle. You get very flat saddles.
Correct.
Is that something San Marco take into account?
Yeah, for sure. So on the short fit is more focused on road cycling. Like I said earlier, because it's a wave saddle, you sort of sit more like in a one position, just with a very small lip at the back. So if you go to the mountain bike specific saddle, so the G&D was developed specifically for that. So if you compare the two, you'll notice that the nose on the G&D is longer than the short fit. So the argument here is that because you move around a lot more on a mountain bike, they made the nose longer for more movement. And then they also added a lip at the back, so you don't slide off the bike when riding trails, for
I was actually
example.
going to ask, what's the difference between a road bike and a mountain bike? So I don't know.
Yeah.
You've just answered that question. So because you, in theory, move around a lot more, you need a bit more support and must be slightly wider just
Correct.
to
Yeah.
kind of help the sit bones. Very interesting stuff. Thanks, Rian.
Yeah, sure, you're welcome.
Let's move on to the helmets. Also, one of the amazing brands that you bring in, Suami. I'm battling with the
Suami, or in
Suami?
Italian they say Suami.
It's
but
another
it's
Italian
easier
brand.
for us to say Suami, I think.
So it's another Italian brand. So it looks like you like Italy a lot.
Yeah, we focus only on Italian brands,
Italian
and
brands.
we sort of target the more mid to high-end market.
Awesome.
So yeah, very good quality products from Italy.
Is there a reason that you focusing on the Italian brands?
Not necessarily. I think we
Are you
started
Italian?
with
Back in the day? Probably no.
no, well, maybe a few years ago, but yeah.
yeah.
No, so we started with Data, which is obviously the Italian brand, and then after that we followed with San Marco and then Cipollini. So yeah, it just sort of happened that we only do Italian brands, but I must say the Italians they've got a very specific way of making products, and they're very passionate about their things. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can see
Especially cycling, and the only problem is when it comes to Italians, they're very small. So when you order a small size kit, it's very difficult to sometimes fit into it. So
Exactly,
you end
no,
up
you're
having to
right.
ride a large,
Yeah.
a large
sure.
Italian size.
Yeah.
So your helmet range, can you take us through? I mean, this is obviously a time trial helmet.
Yeah.
Are
So
there mountain bike helmets specifically suited for mountain biking?
So Suami was actually a motorcycle helmet brand. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Ducati motorcycle riders, being
Yes.
Troy Bayliss, Ben Bostrom, Max
Yes.
Biaggi. They all
Okay.
used to ride the Suami motorcycle helmets. And then the owners sort of noticed that there's a big boom in the cycling market, so they actually sold off the helmet, the motorcycle helmet company, to a Japanese company.
Okay.
And now they're investing all their expertise into cycling.
Into cycling.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
So in 2014, they made a very big entry into the world tour, sponsoring Lampre Merida. So this is still the Lampre Merida replica. It's called the Gunwind.
And they were always known for their pink and blue kit.
Yeah, for sure. So so the Gunwind has got a very specific shape to it. I know it doesn't fall on the taste of everybody, but I must say this is actually one of the best helmets I've ever had the privilege to own. So
Sorry, does it come in another color? Can someone order
yeah,
it?
of
in a
course,
different-
yeah. No,
So they don't have to ride in pink.
No, they normally come in like a black or a white, which is the
Okay.
more popular colors.
Okay.
Miles would look very nice in the pink.
Thank you. Maybe I should give it a go.
Miles, so yeah, if you just feel
Yes.
the padding there, it's got an antibacterial,
Wow.
anti-sweat sort of
That's what it looks like.
inner padding.
It's light. I mean, the first
very
thing I
light.
noticed when you gave it to me was that it's super, super light.
Yeah,
I mean, especially if you're riding long hours, a heavy helmet can start making your neck muscles cramp. So I mean, that's a very,
Definitely,
very light
yeah.
helmet. Yeah.
Then we
Cool.
also have, so that's our more expensive helmet.
So that's kind of the top of the range.
Yeah, top of the range helmet,
Okay.
correct.
For road and mountain bike, or just
Road and mountain,
Okay.
yeah. Even though the helmet doesn't come with a peak, you can still use it for mountain or road.
awesome.
Then we have a more affordable solution, which is actually our top seller, the Timeless. So the Timeless has got the characteristics of a high-end helmet, and it only retails for $1,995 at only 190 grams of helmet, which I think is a very good deal. It's got 35 vents, and also a very decent padding system. So these helmets are also available from Cyclelab. You will normally just see them on the floor in like a matte black or in a matte white, which is the
Standard
most popular colour,
go-to colors.
yeah.
Then for the triathletes and the guys that want to go really fast,
Yeah,
there's
for
obviously
sure. We've got
this guy here.
a TT specific helmet. That's sort of like a one size fits all.
Okay.
And those helmets were also used now recently by Team Cofidis.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was
Wow.
in the previous year.
So that's your Go Fast helmet. So if you're going on a social mountain bike ride, this is the helmet you must get.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Definitely not the one for the social mountain bike ride.
Yeah. Miles, and then there's just a more aero helmet called the Glider.
Okay,
So
that's the aero version.
Yeah, so it's the aero version sort of the Gunwind. So this is also available in different colors. And then we've got like a time trial TT helmet as well, which is like a very bare minimum sort of aero helmet, and then also with a removable visor, which you can just easily attach with the magnets.
So you don't need sunglasses with those. You just
No, you actually don't. Yeah, so that's quite nice. Yeah.
Do your kind of track cyclists use that more often, or is it just, I mean, if you're doing a road cycling race or?
You can use it for a road cycling race, but it's more focused, I think, on triathlon, for example.
Triathlon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's an alternative to this fast guy. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Then the last product, I mean, just so much information. Yeah. So the last product you guys do, DMT shoes.
Yeah, so DMT is actually the shoe brand from Cipollini.
Okay.
The soles get manufactured, or the complete shoe gets manufactured in the Cipollini factory as well. So just if we look quickly at the high-end shoe, which is our KR1 model. The KR1 has been used by Elia Viviani now for many years. They've actually been working with Elia Viviani for the past 15 years already in development and testing of new shoes. So yeah, in the beginning when DMT started, they sort of battled to get market share with other shoes because their shoes weren't really much different than any other shoe in the market. So that's why they moved to knitwear completely now. Now I know there are certain other manufacturers that also do knitwear, but the KR1 and our mountain bike version of the KR1, which is the KM1, is a full 3D knit shoe. So Cipollini is actually the only plant that they install a whole new factory to actually produce these shoes.
What?
And it's a revolutionary shoe because there's nothing else on the market like this. Because the other manufacturers use also knitwear in the front, but then with your traditional heel cap like they do on the KM3 and the KR3. So this is a complete full 3D knit, so it means it's like a sock that you're actually wearing.
Wow. I mean, so the only concern I would have with that is how long does it last? Does it wear down?
Yeah, I know that's normally
faster?
a question that I get.
Okay.
So yeah, look, I mean they've been tried and tested by some of the best athletes. I think people are normally a bit hesitant to buy them for mountain biking.
Sure.
But the other advantage, you've got a 2-year warranty on the shoes, so rest assured, buy them, and if you've got a problem, you can always bring them back and we can do a warranty replacement.
There we go.
But yeah, on this KM1 shoe, it was also designed with stage racing in mind, because normally when you have a rainy day, you start off with a wet pair of shoes the next day.
Yeah.
So these dry very quickly, so you can actually start with a dry pair of shoes on your next day.
Brilliant. But if you're also riding top of the range equipment, I mean, you must expect it, the wear and tear to not be as long as kind of something that's built to be a bit more, slightly more durable.
Yeah.
Rian, well, it's been great to chat. We are having to close off.
Do you have a few questions?
We do have a few questions. Sorry, let's get those in. I can't actually see them on my computer, unfortunately.
Siabonga asked, how many championships has Cipollini bike won? Cipollini bikes, how many championships have they won?
Well, Cipollini Bikes was actually, they sponsored the Bardiani team for a few years, but that's more like a pro-continental team. They actually moved away from sponsorship in World Tour. They have been talking to certain teams, so there's actually not a lot of World Tour titles or any World Tour titles connected to Cipollini at this stage.
But like you did mention, it's a very niche type of bike. So
yeah, for sure.
It's not a bike that the masses would ride. It's more unique and it's niche, which is
exactly
nice. Something nice about the brand. Yeah.
Correct.
Mark Hawkins, he asks, excuse my pronunciation, Tadesh, I'm assuming you won the Tour de France. Did he wear the
Pogacar.
DMT shoes?
Sure, he did. Yeah, he actually used a new prototype from DMT, which will be released soon, and then he also used the KR1 shoe like Elia Viviani. But yeah, this was his equipment: the Alanera bar and the DMT shoes. So he went over the line as a champion with our products.
With the products.
For sure. Yeah.
And then obviously ridden by all the local Pro Touch riders. So.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Rian, thank you so much for coming through, and also the prizes. I mean, those prizes are amazing. There's 5 prizes up for grabs. We'll make a post about it on Instagram as well. But you need to tag the Peloton, Team Pro Touch, and Cycle Lab ZA with a picture of your bike on one of your rides, and you'll be in the contest to win those prizes.
Yeah.
The prize announcement will be done next week, Wednesday, on a live show. We'll put all the names into a little bucket and we'll draw out the winners of the prizes.
Yeah,
So, Rian,
Miles, thank you very much, and thanks for the opportunity. It's been great being
it's a
here.
pleasure.
this morning.
Thank you for coming through. Just a shout out, guys. Black Friday will be happening soon at Cycle Lab, so stay tuned for that. There's going to be some fantastic deals online and in store, so watch out for the Black Friday specials. So thank you for tuning in. We are at live Cycle Lab 4A's Performance Lab. Tune in next week for another Cycle Lab Coffee Time show. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.